morning, dear children. I am Dr. Lakshmi. I am from SMH department, and today I am going to teach you what is the rank and how can we get the rank of the matrix by normal form. That is our topic today. So before we learn how to get the rank by using the normal form, because in the previous class we have already discussed what is the echelon form and how by the echelon form of a matrix we are able to get the rank of a matrix. Let me test you by giving an example. Suppose the problem is a matrix is given wherein one of the unknown is there and the rank of the matrix is given. Is it possible to calculate the unknown of the matrix if given the rank of the matrix? That is our question now. So let us now see an example before we learn the normal form and getting rank from normal form. Let us look at an example to find out an unknown constant in the matrix provided the rank is given. Right? So the problem is the matrix A is equal to first row 1 1 minus 1 0, second row 1 minus 1 A1, third row 3 1 0 1. Right? So in the third column, in the second row, we can see a constant A. In the problem, it is given that the rank of the matrix is equal to 2, and we have to calculate the constant A. So we can apply either the rank definition or the echelon form of the rank method. So whatever the way we can do, because we are given the rank of the matrix is equal to 2, by the definition of the rank of the matrix, we can say that at least one second order minor is non-zero and all the third order minors are 0. Because the rank of the matrix is given to be 2, by the definition of the rank it is clear that at least one of the second order minor is non-zero and all the third order minors are 0. Now what is a third order minor? It is a 3 by 3 determinant. It is a 3 by 3 det of the submatrix, right, of the given matrix. So now let us choose 3 rows and 3 columns including the unknown constant A. When we calculate its determinant, it becomes a third order minor. Because every third order minor is becoming 0 due to the rank of A is equal to 2 given already. So choosing a third order minor including the constant A and making it equal to 0, we can calculate the value of the constant A. Because it is in the third column, I am going to choose first 2 and the third columns. So I am going to choose first 3 rows and the first 3 columns. And we give the reason here. Because the rank of A is equal to 2, every third order minor is 0. So we are considering here one of the third order minor with the first 3 rows and the first 3 columns. It is 1 1 minus 1, it is 1 minus 1A, it is 3 1 0. This third order minor must be 0 because the rank is 2. Now calculating this determinant and equating to 0, we have the expansion of the determinant is 1 into 1 of minus 1 into 0 minus 1 into A. It is minus A. The sign of this element is minus as it belongs to the first row second column. So we have minus 1 of, we find the minor of this one. It is the det of this 1A 3 0. So 1 zeros are 0 minus 3 into A. We have minus 3A. It is again the sign of this is minus 1 only. It is plus sign, so minus 1 remains the same. So minus 1 of 1 into 1. 1 minus of minus 3. It is 1 plus 3 become 4. Is equal to 0 on the right side. So when we simplify, we have minus A plus 3A. We have 2A minus 4 equal to 0. So 2A is equal to 4 and A is equal to 2. So we got the value of the constant. So what is the method we have applied? We have simply applied the rank definition to calculate the constant A of the given matrix. Because the rank is given 2, by the definition of the rank, every third order minor must be 0. And we have considered one of the third order minor of the given matrix including the unknown constant because it has to be calculated. So by calculating this third order minor, we got the value 2a minus 4. Because it must be 0, we have 2a minus 4, 0, giving us the value a equal to 2. So this is our required value of 2, required value of a, which is 2 for the given in the given matrix, so that it possesses the rank value equal to 2. Now let us continue our discussion to the normal form technique. So now we are going to discuss what is the normal form, and by normal form how can we find the rank of any given matrix. Let me now explain through an example what is the normal form. What is the normal form? When do we say that any matrix in the normal form? Suppose for example we have an identity matrix of any order we can choose. For instance, if I choose the identity matrix of order 3 by 3, it is 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1. It is called the normal form. So remember, every identity matrix of any order will itself can be called a normal form, or otherwise the alternate forms. Because it is I3, so I am writing this I3 along with the 3 columns. We may have a column of zeros. This is 0 column. This is one of the other expressions of the normal form. Similarly, we can also have along this I3, the 3 rows and 3 columns, a row of zeros, which we write it as I3, 0 in the column, also called as the normal form, and we have the one more form. Along with the 3 rows, 3 columns of I3, we have 0 column, 0 row and a 0 element. And this form can also be called the normal form. So look at here, the matrix as is shown, I3 or I3 along with a 0 column, or I3 along with a 0 row, or I3 along with a 0 column, 0 row and a singleton 0. Any of these forms can be called as the normal form. Once the given matrix is reduced to the one of these normal forms, to calculate the rank of the matrix, the rule we apply is, we find the order of the identity matrix involved in the normal forms. Because in each of these normal forms, the identity matrix involved is I3, its order is 3. So we say that for the given matrix, rank of the matrix is 3. Right? Suppose for some of the matrix we have got I2. Then the rank of the given matrix becomes 2. And for some other matrix after reducing to normal form, the normal form is containing I4. Maybe of any of these forms. Then we say that the rank of the given matrix is 4. Now, our next method is to learn how the matrix is reducible to normal form, any of the forms. Thereby we can calculate easily the rank of the given matrix. Let me now explain the method of finding the normal form for any given matrix. Right? So what we are going to do now? We are going to reduce a given matrix to one of the specified normal forms, thereby getting the rank of the given matrix from the normal form. Let us choose an example. Suppose we are given the matrix A is equal to, let us choose a simple 3 by 3 matrix. Suppose that the first row of the matrix is, it is 2 minus 1 3. Second row is 1 1 1. Third row is 1 minus 1 1. Let us suppose, because we are given a 3 by 3 matrix, right? And now let us see the process of reducing this matrix to the normal form, thereby getting the rank of the matrix. I will explain the method first. We look at the first pivot first. It should be non-zero. If it is 0, then what we do? We simply interchange either rows or columns. So remember, while reducing to normal form, one can apply both the row and column operations. Unlike in the case of echelon form where we use only row operations, whereas in this normal form, in getting the given matrix to normal form, we can apply both the type of row transformations, row and column transformations, right? So when we focus on the first pivot, if it is already non-zero, see here, it is 2 already non-zero. So choose this one. Now what we do? Using suitable row operations, we make the elements below to the zeros first. Then using the same pivot and using the column operations, we make the elements to the right of it also zeros. Okay. Now coming to the second pivot. If it is 0, no doubt, as you know already, we should go to the row interchange or column interchange in this case, so that the second pivot also become non-zero. Once this is non-zero form, then what we do? We choose it. Then using this, we make this element below to that 0 using row operation. And then using the same pivot, we make the elements to the right of that also 0. We continue this process with the different pivots existing in the given matrix. Because the given problem has only 3 pivots it is having, right? We need to have 2 steps. Making the elements below the first pivot 0, right side 0. The corresponding to the second pivot, making the element below 0 and to the right 0. Let us apply the process. Because first pivot 2 is there. To make this one 0, which is in row 2, we apply R2 implies 2 into R2. So that 2 into 1 become 2 here. Minus, we get 2 from the row 1. So it is minus R1. So 2 into 1, minus 2 comes here, become minus 2, 0 we get here. Similarly, R3 implies 2 into R3 become 2 at R3 first place minus R1. Applying these two over the given matrix, we get the equivalent matrix to the original. So we put equivalent symbol and the corresponding elements are first row the same 2 minus 1 3. The second row 2 into 1 minus 2 0. 2 into 1 2. Minus of minus 1 become 3. 2 into 1 2 minus 3. It is minus 1. Similarly, the last row is 2 into 1 minus 2 0. 2 into minus 1 it is minus 2. Minus of minus, so it is minus 2 plus 1, it is minus 1. Now corresponding to this last element, it is 2 into 1 2 minus 3, it is minus 1 once again. Now with the same pivot and using the row operations, we make this minus 1 and 3 of the first row 0 to make this minus 1 which is in column 2. So C2 implies we multiply this with the 2 so that it becomes minus 2. And add these 2 with this one, minus 2. So we have 2C2 plus C1. Similarly, to make this 3 0, we have C3 implies we have 2C3, so that we get 6 here. And again, we multiply by 3 here, so that 6 will be taken there and become 6 minus 6 is 0. So it is 2C3 minus 3C1. Using these two column operations, over the given matrix, we get the given matrix is equivalent to, we are not changing the first column, so it remains the same 2 0 0. On the second column, we are applying the row operation, column operations. C2 implies 2C2 plus C1. So this minus 1 becomes 0. So minus 1 is becoming 0. Then applying the same on the remaining two column elements. We have 2 3s are 6 plus 0, it is 6. Next it is 2 into minus 1, minus 2 plus 0, we have minus 2 here. And again applying the column 3 transformation, we have chosen 2C3 minus 3C1, this 3 becomes 0. Next it is 2 into minus 1, we have minus 2, minus 3 into C1 0, we have minus 2. Again 2 into minus 1, it is minus 2 minus 3 into 0, again minus 2. So what is our form of the matrix here? It is like an identity matrix which is required in our normal form. We have the diagonal element, below the elements are made 0 and the right elements are also made 0. This is the end of the first step. Based on the first pivot, we have done the first column and we have completed the first column and the first row as per our requirement of the identity matrix. Now we focus on the second pivot, which is 6 here, already non-zero. So we chose this, and now using this 6, we make this -2 and this -2, which is in row 3 and which is in column 3, zeros. So let us apply the row transformation. R3 implies. So what does it become? R3 implies, because R3 has -2. Already in R2 we have 6, second pivot. So let us multiply this -2 with 3. So we write 3 into R3 become -6. When to this -6, this 6 is added, it becomes 0. So we write here plus R2. Right? This is the only operation we can do here, because below the second pivot only one element is there. Using this on the given diagonal matrix, we have first row 2 0 0, second row 0 6 -2, third row it is 0 0, 3 times of -2 -6, -2 it become -8. Now using the same 6, we apply the column operation to make this -2 0. It belongs to C3. So we write C3 implies, let us multiply with the 3 here. It become 3C3 become -3 into -2 -6, and we add this 6 to this one. So it is plus C2. And as a result we get first column 2 0 0, second column 2 0 6 0, third column 0 0, 3 times of C3 become -24 plus we have C2 -2. So -24 -2 give us -26. So look at the form what we get here. It is clearly a diagonal matrix because all the non-diagonal elements are 0 here. It is now very easy to convert this into an identity matrix. Suppose we divide the row 1 or the column 1 with 2. We get here 1. Similarly making the second and third pivots also 1. We can get here I3, which is our one of the possible possible normal form. So we do that. It is R1 by 2, R2 by 6, R3 by -26. So that we get a form which is equivalent to I3. This is the normal form. This is our required normal form of the given matrix. And hence we say that because the given matrix is equivalent to the normal form, they possess the same rank. Right? What is our point? Because the given matrix A is equivalent to this normal form, everywhere we have used equivalency symbols. So we have from the given matrix arrived at this normal form through the sequence of row column operations. Hence we call the given matrix is equivalent to the normal form. And every pair of equivalent matrices will have the same rank. So no doubt the rank of A is equal to rank of normal form. But already we know the rank of the normal form is the order of the identity matrix in it. Because here I3 is there in the normal form, the order of I3 is 3, the same is the rank of the given matrix. Hence is our conclusion that the rank of the given matrix is 3. And this is the method called as finding the rank of a matrix using the normal form. Let me revise at least a few points in the process. We are given matrix A, and the problem is to find the rank of the matrix by using normal form. And what is our normal form? It is nothing but either completely an identity matrix or an identity matrix with all the remaining elements as zeros. So we have 4 possible forms of the normal form, like IN, nth order identity matrix, or IN with a 0 column, IN with a 0 row, IN with a 0 row, 0 column and a singleton 0. Alright? Again a 0 0 matrix. So that is the normal form. So in order to reduce this matrix to normal form, being non-zero, we have chosen the first pivot. Using row operations, we made the elements down to that zeros, and using column operations, we made the elements to the right of the pivot zeros, and we have got this step. This we arrived at this one. Now we have chosen the non-zero second pivot. We have chosen the non-zero second pivot, which is 6. Using this, with row operations we make the element below 0. With column operations we make the right side element 0. And we arrived at the form wherein we get a diagonal matrix. Now clearly this can be transformed to an identity matrix. Once the identity matrix is reached, no doubt it is a normal form. The normal form is equivalent to the given, they possess the same rank. Hence our conclusion is the rank of the matrix is the rank of the normal form, and the rank of the normal form is the order of its identity matrix. And hence in this problem, the rank of the given problem is 3. Right? I hope you all understood. Now let me explain another problem using the same normal form technique. Let us suppose the matrix given is, this can select a 3 by 4 matrix. First row has 1, minus 2, 3, 4. Second row has minus 2, 4, minus 1, minus 3. Third row has 1, 2, 7, 6. Right? So we are given the different elements in the given matrix which has the order 3 by 4. Now let us try to reduce this matrix to the normal form in order to find the rank. By our process, what we do? We choose the non-zero pivot, first pivot. It is 1 already. So using this one, we need to make this minus 2 and 1, 0 using row operations. So let us apply on row 2 and row 1. So R2 implies, it is already minus 2 here. So we keep it as it is R2. We make here 2. So we have plus 2 into R1. So this minus 2 along with the 2 from here will give us 0 in this case. Next R3 to make this 1 0. Already 1 here. This 1 has to be used to make this 1 0. So it is simply R3 minus R1. Using these two over this matrix, we get the matrix is equivalent to first row 1 minus 2 3 4. Second row 0. It is 4 minus 4. It is 0. It is minus 1, right? It is minus 1 plus 6. It is minus 1 plus 2 into 3. So minus 1 plus 6, we have plus 5. It is minus 3 plus 8. Again 5. Now coming to the third row, as it is R3 minus R1, we have 1 minus 1, 0. 2 plus 2, 2 minus 1 minus 2 become 4. It is R3 minus R1. So we have 2 minus 3. Again 4. Next it is 6 minus 4. We have got 2. Right. Now using the same pivot, we have to make the element minus 2, 3, 4 zeros. Using C2, C3, C4 changes. Now C2 implies already minus 2. So it is C2 plus 2C1. So that 2 become here, 2 into 1 become 2 here. When the 2 is taken and added here, it makes this place element 0. To make this 3 0, we have C3 minus 3C1. Similarly, to make this 4 0, we have C4 minus 4C1. Using these 3 column operations over this, we get the matrix equivalent to first column 0 0, second column 0, both have zeros, so 0. We have C2 plus 2C1, so C2 is C2 only, so it is a 4. Next 3 becomes 0. Next it is a 5, so 5 minus 3 of 0, it is a 5 only. Next C4 minus, we have C3 and C3, so C3 minus, so 4 minus 3 into C1 again. We have the element here, the same 4. Next coming to the column 4, C4 minus 4C1, it becomes 0. The two elements become 5 to the same. Now look at the second pivot, it is 0. It should not be 0 because it has to be used for making the elements below and the elements to the right zeros in order to get an identity matrix which is a part of our normal form. So what we do now? in order to make the second pivot non-zero, we go for either column interchange or the row interchange. Let us interchange the row 2 and the row 3. We may also go with C2, C3 interchange. So when we apply row 2, row 3 interchange, row 2 and row 3 interchange, we get the matrix equivalent to the previous as first row is 1 0 0 0, second row becomes the third row now 0 4 4 2, the second row goes to the third row 0 0 5 5. Now the second pivot is non-zero, and what we do with that? We make the element below 0. Already the down element is 0, so no need of again making it 0. Now using this 4, the elements of 4 and 2 belongs to C3, C4 must be made zeros. So we make C3 4 element 0. Column 3, the element 4 to make 0, we have simply 4 minus of 4. It is C3 minus C2. From C4 as it is 2, first we multiply with 2 become 2C4 4 minus C2. Using these two on the given this matrix particular, we have the corresponding conversion. Column 1 0 0 first column, even the second column does not change. The third column, it is C3 minus C2, 0 minus 0, 4 minus 4, 5 minus 0. Fourth column, it is 2C4 minus 3C2. So it is 0, both are zeros we have. It is again 2 into 2 minus 4, it is 0. It is 2 into 5 minus 0, we have 10 here. Right? So you observe this matrix. Is it a diagonal matrix? It is not a diagonal matrix, but we have the first diagonal 1, second diagonal 1, the third diagonal 5. In the fourth column also we have the element 4. So what we have to do now? No need of again taking the third pivot and making the element below 0 because there is no fourth row. So what we do? Using this third pivot, we make this 10 0. So this belongs to C4. So C4 implies C4 minus 2C3. And this gives us the corresponding form 1 0 0 first column, 0 4 0 second column, 0 0 5 third column, 0 0 0 the fourth column. Now except the last column, the first three columns are forming a diagonal matrix. To make it an identity matrix, let us choose either row 1 division or column division we can select. Suppose we have row 1 already, the diagonal is 1, so no need of again division here. So row 2 let us divide by 4 and row 3 let us divide by 5. So that what happens? We get the matrix. The first three columns reduces to the columns of I3 and the last 0 column is if written as 0, we have got the matrix I30, which is one of the required normal form. Because this normal form, now this is the normal form, because this normal form is equivalent to this matrix and every two equivalent matrices possess the same rank. We have the rank of A equal to rank of normal form, but the rank of normal form is the order of I3 and hence we conclude here the rank of the given matrix is 3. Am I clear? So this is the method of finding the rank of a given matrix by using the normal form of the matrix. So far we have discussed in the first session, in the first class, we have reviewed actually, because those all topics have been, you are all knowing them previously in the lower classes. So in the first class we have discussed what are the different types of matrices and the properties of matrices. In the second class we have discussed what is an inverse of a matrix, and we have discussed how the Gauss-Jordan method is applied for finding the inverse of a matrix. In the third class we have discussed how the echelon form is applied to find the rank of a matrix. Now in this class we have completed the knowledge of reducing the given matrix to normal form. Now you are all able to calculate the inverse of a matrix by Gauss-Jordan method, the rank of a matrix by using both the echelon and normal forms. And this is our first part of our unit, which is about the matrices. And what is our subject? It is the linear algebra and the advanced calculus. In that subject, we are in the first unit, wherein the first part is matrices, and in the matrices, we have discussed the first content. To find the rank of a matrix, to find the inverse of a matrix with the methods specified in our syllabus. So in the next class, we are going to learn how a system of linear equations can be solved by using different methods. We are going to learn the different methods, actually several methods for solving a given homogeneous or non-homogeneous linear system. I hope you all understood. If you have any queries, you may contact me personally, or you please at the end of the class when you go home, you took few problems from the exercise, you practice by your own and compare with the answers given on the back side of the textbook, so that when you practice more and more problems, you get more and more understanding to solve, and also you get more fastness in the calculation. Right? Thank you all.